Let's finish the track.
Can't we just wait, dude?
Play the drums.
Having produced and starred in some of the most memorable and funny music videos in modern rock history, it feels like a natural progression for the Foo Fighters to headline their own movie. Studio 666 parodies frontman Dave Grohl's famous drive for musical excellence as the haunted house the Foos picked to record their new album brings out the devil in him, blending elements of the supernatural and slasher subgenres for a cinematic mixtape of mirthful mayhem. One that could have used a more focused approach in its execution to get the most out of its silly and promising premise. Studio 666 finds the Foo Fighters at a creative impasse, with the band looking to a musically tapped Dave for leadership and finding the guitar intro of Everlong being his only idea. They decide to rent out a mansion in Los Angeles' San Fernando Valley to find the new sound Dave's after. When the bodies start piling up, it's clear they've stumbled on much more. Studio 666's script is a bare-bones pastiche of horror forerunners like The Shining, The Evil Dead, and The Exorcist. There's a lot of pieces on the game board for Studio 666 to play with, but their utility feels more aimed at giving director BJ McDonnell plenty of visual options in the movie's back half and less about creating a cohesive story. Despite a relatively brisk 108-minute runtime, the movie suffers from a protracted finale that draws out the less interesting aspects of the villain's grand plan at the expense of ending the film at its most bombastic. Though the story is forgettable, Studio 666 is first and foremost a showcase for the Foo Fighters to kill and be killed in grand fashion, and in that regard, it's a damn good time. Despite the fact that none of the guys are trained actors, the Foos are very natural on camera, and their banter and brotherly digs at one another go a long way to keeping the movie afloat when the plot fizzles. Unsurprisingly, Grohl gets the most to do and plays the fictionalized version of himself without ego. As his possession worsens, Grohl swings for the fences, with his menacing of his bandmates and slapsticky brutality benefiting from his obvious enthusiasm. Likewise, keyboardist Rami Jaffe and guitarist Pat Smear prove to be excellently offbeat supporters. The rest of the band fall into more straight man type roles, there to take Dave down a peg or two when he gets too full of himself, or to give him somebody to gruesomely murder. Studio 666's supporting roster, featuring appearances from Whitney Cummings, Will Forte, and Jenna Ortega, is there solely to keep the plot moving, and they don't leave much of an impression. While the extraneous supernatural stuff doesn't look great, the kill sequences are mostly realized with practical effects and give the movie much needed texture.
You found a new musical note?
Hell yes, I did.
It's an L.
Studio 666 is a midnight movie through and through. A treat for Foo Fighters fans, but an inconsistent horror comedy at its core. The band, led by a locked-in Dave Grohl, provide plenty of laughs with a mix of down-to-earth ribbing and over-the-top freakouts, but feel hampered by a creative team that can't quite balance the aspects of the movie that work, like the gratifying kills, and those that feel like background noise. By trying to tick every box on the horror movie checklist, Studio 666 struggles to find its own identity. But the Foo Fighters' sheer enthusiasm for the idea of a band falling victim to forces from beyond keeps the movie rocking through till the end. Thanks for watching. For more movie reviews, check out what we thought of Death on the Nile and Moonfall, and as always, be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.